Alright, everyone, welcome back to r/NOSLEEP. We are going to be reading I Applied for a Job Today by Cutiehoney. As per the title, I applied for a job today. Well, truthfully, I applied to so many jobs, they all blended into one. I've been looking for jobs all day, every day, ever since I lost my previous job to AI. I remember the day it happened. I finished my never-ending paperwork for the day. This office I was at was small, but it was growing. Because of confidentiality documents that's still active, even though I don't work there anymore, I'm not at real liberty to say, so all I can offer on my previous job is that it's in administrative healthcare. That's all you need to know. I don't know if it's a good thing or more detrimental, but my resume is decent. I've worked odd jobs since my 20s, but I've at least some admin work under my belt. Most people would go to college, then university, and usually settle for a job in their degree, or even adjacent. With AI being as rampant as it is, though, you don't need me to tell you just how awful it is. Just look on any social media site, or even some of the subs here on Reddit, and you can see plainly. My struggle comes from the fact I don't have a fancy degree. It's not that I'm ashamed that I only have associates, but if I mention it's in English instead of STEM, then I'll get judgmental remarks. Still, I usually adapt well enough. This economy had been extra tough, though. I don't know how you could replace someone in healthcare administration with AI, but my ex-employers found a way. I'll fully admit to feeling betrayed, though I know employers don't owe me anything. 3 years of service only to be easily replaced in the blink of an eye? What a fucking break. I've been out of my job for about 8 months now, and I'm not any closer to getting a job. My savings are gone, and I have about a little more than $100 left. Applying to retail was an option, but with the amount of people vying for the job, I've either been rejected, if I'm not outright ghosted from that as well. I did have a few emails, though, that I haven't been completely rejected yet. There's hope yet. But I found an interesting job posting today. I've been feeling disheartened more and more as summer's coming to a close. I thought I could get to work at a college or even a local school, but nothing. I did find something, though. Here's the text of it, since I wasn't able to take a screenshot of it. We are a small company named. We work with the local state Medicaid company program. We are seeking an experienced female billing person to complete tasks such as organizing and submitting trip sheets to the local state Medicaid program, submitting bills, answering phones, and calling, following up with the state healthcare cost containment system. The hours are from Monday to Thursday, 8 hours a day. The pay is $350 per week. If interested, please contact MJ or Big Al with your resume. Okay, for recruiters to contact this job poster, do not contact us with unsolicited services or offers.
I've resorted to Craigslist after Indeed kept giving me AI training jobs instead of office admin to look for jobs, and there's a reason why I'm posting here and not another famous subreddit. It's innocuous, right? Why would they post that? Sexism included. It's laughable and clearly a toxic environment. From what it sounds like, though, it sounds like any other overworked and underpaid office job that I've been applying to and have been ghosted by. However, my situation is something I can't ignore. I'm at a terrible place where I'm blessed that my roommate has a decent enough job to carry our bills and food, but it's not fair to her, not by any means. I clean, but I can't cook, but at least if I could get a job, I can pay my share. I can ease the burden from her shoulders. I could even have a little spending money if I divvy up the funds just right. Even now, I still feel the same way, and I've only applied to this ridiculous ad. Against my better judgment, I applied to it. This is such a nothing burger ad that I shouldn't think anything of it other than another number on my job application spreadsheet. Another no for this to get closer to a yes to something else. But after I applied and emailed both this MJ and Big Al my resume respectfully, using this email that just has the first initial of my first name and my last name, this is important to note that my name is uniquely rare. I've been chronically online since I was a teenager. So I'm no stranger to hiding it for protection's sake, but there's another reason that I'll get into just a bit. However, obviously it's unprofessional to use a silly email for a job, so I use that for these types of job postings. It's not anything new. I may only have an associate's in English, but I truly adore reading, writing, editing, and all those things. It's just, well, I won't get into it now. I didn't think anything else of it after I sent my resume. At this point in my job searching journey, I expect companies to put my resume into an AI whatever and spit out a social score and whether or not if that number is applicable for a glance before an interview. This is an employer's market after all. Anyway, after I sent that email, I went ahead and took a break. Looking at jobs is depressing day in and day out, and I needed some reprieve. It was also lunchtime, so I decided to end my search for the day and grab some grub. My roommate and I have our own separate lives. We met through friends, and she needed someone to room with her in a house that she originally bought for her and her girlfriend. All you need to know is that it didn't work out. Luckily, I had just gotten hired at that new job, and I needed a place to stay. We met, chatted, and thought we were compatible. The neighborhood was quiet but active. There was a lot of dog walkers, and I've always loved looking at the dogs and whatever woodland creatures. We moved in together. At first, my friends made the U-Haul lesbians joke, which, sure, but I'm straight and she isn't into me. She likes to go hiking and I like to stay outside. I love horror novels and anime, but she was never interested. She also loves sports, so I plan a trip with whoever I'm dating at the time whenever she has her friends over for a game party. We're friendly enough, and she loves to cook for people. At least today it was her day off, so she wanted to enjoy it to the fullest. When I went downstairs, she had just plated food, and I told her about the ad I just applied to. We had a good laugh and ate in mostly silence. She got a message from a girl she wanted to date and had to leave the house, so it's just me by myself. Even now, she's still out, and I don't know if I want her to come home. I don't know what I've done by applying to that ad. I finished the rest of my lunch while scrolling through social media when I get an email back from MJ and Big AI. I expected a rejection, but instead I get this. Subject regarding interested in office admin position. Dear OP, got your contact through Craigslist, and I'm happy to inform you that our reputable company is currently running an empowerment program. This program is to train upcoming female office administrators to work for our company to secure part-time work from a home job, which does not deter you from doing any other thing. You just need a few hours to do this weekly with an attractive weekly salary. I will send over the job description and contact information shortly. Kind regards, MJ, Big Al, owners of the company. And truthfully, I instantly regretted it. Not just because it's so odd I've applied for this position, but it sounds fake. It is fake. I tried to Google this company to see if this company was real, which honestly is something I should have done in the first place before applying, but here we are. And it doesn't seem like it was, not even a Reddit post on it in my state, so while I did feel a little freaked out, I could take solace that, hey, there are fake jobs everywhere these days. So-called hiring companies often post ghost jobs, which usually turn out to be scams of some kind, or they're simply data collecting. With all the jobs I've applied to for the past 8 months, I can't imagine how many times they've received my application or resume for the umpteenth time and filed it away in some digital drawer in some data center, poisoning that local community. I can just delete it and move on with my day. So I do just that. Well, I reported it as spam first and then deleted it, almost as if it didn't exist and as if I never made the mistake of applying to that job. And that's where things would end if this was any other application. Just as I empty my spam folder on my email inbox, I get another one. I was hoping it was for a job I applied to for at least a month ago. I recently had an interview with them, and I've been on pins and needles for their response. However, when I look at it, I realize that it's a different email this time, from the same company. From this point forward, expect all emails to be simply copy and pasted to this post. We are urgently in need of a female office administrator. Please sign up for our female empowerment program to train for this position to work part-time remotely and get paid $350 weekly. Tests will be carried out remotely. Send your name and number. Thanks. Kind regards, MJ and Big Al, owners of the company. Another thing you have to understand, I am deleting these emails. The only reason you're seeing it now is because I went back to report it to spam and delete this one. The initial one appeared again. I'd saved at least one per email, just to assume from this point forward I have a copy of each email in a Word document saved so I could report them to Craigslist, Google, or someone. I don't know if it would do anything, but it never hurts to try. And that's another thing. I want to post here on this subreddit, so at least if someone accidentally applies for one of these jobs, here's what to expect. Every set of emails I delete, I get a new one. Sometimes copies of one of the two. At first, it was an hour between each email and deletion, but out of frustration, I began to ignore it. Instead, I booted up my Steam and played a game to at least take me away from this world for a little bit. Then I got a new email. You have been offered a job opportunity at the convenience of your home, which serves as a gateway to pay all expenses and to get your lifestyle back. Don't you miss buying anime figurines? This opportunity should be done at leisure time and taking at most 1 hour a day, 2 to 3 times a week, and earning $350 weekly. It is a flexible opportunity where you will determine your working time. All the tasks are work from home, your city or job. You don't need to travel anywhere because all tasks are within your city, and also you don't need a car to get started. It's a home-based office work. You can be in any location and work from your home. To apply for this position, kindly send the requested below via email only or to MJ's email address or Big Al's email address. Your full name, full address, personal email, cell phone number, date of birth, favorite horror novel, favorite anime, favorite Steam game. How many hours are you willing to work? Do you speak and understand English language? Receiving the same emails over and over is enough, because by this point I've stopped reporting them as spam. Clearly Gmail doesn't listen when things are marked as spam anymore. I'm becoming frustrated, but this new email gave me a pause. In fact, I'm staring at this questionnaire and I'm wondering, how the hell do they know what I like? I told you guys these things because foreshadowing is a literary device, so seeing this in an email wouldn't shock you. But when I saw this, it shocked me. I know Google is no longer the fun Google we grew up with, experimental, different, useful, and unique. It was fun whenever Google used to create something exciting, but nowadays, they've fallen to the wayside in terms of, especially security, and they are devoting themselves to AI. At first, though, I thought it was a Microsoft problem, too. Windows is incredibly useful, and it's what most people own. But with all the scandals of detecting users, and again with AI, I almost threw my phone out the window. Not that it would have mattered. And yeah, I know it's a little weird for an English major to type all of this down, but I did say that I'm chronically online, especially more of these past 8 months. I didn't know what to do, but I immediately shut my game down. I tried to send Google or at least Gmail a request for help, but it's been so fucking complicated just to submit a goddamn ticket. I tried to look at the FAQ, but nothing of the sort other than report as spam. Great. All the while, though, my email is starting to have 3 copies now of the same email, and it's freaking me out. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I could even talk to my roommate about this. Hi, how are you doing today, Ken? I hope you're having a good night. Let's see. She has a master's degree in business, and at times I think she looks down on me for having an associate's. She's had a hard life like I did, but the upside to her story is that she knows how to better manage money. I don't. I get so scared. I do want to subscribe that money is just a number, but it's a number that rules the world. It's a number that caused this AI bubble to exist in the first place. It's the source of the world's problems, I fear. I wish I could just read all day, write stories, and even edit my friends' stories for free, truly, because I love to do it. I wish that I didn't have to have a certain number in my bank account to pick up the new Chuck Tingle horror, or even take on a new one. Thankfully, I'm not in any debt, not seriously at least, but I am terrified. And all these emails aren't making it any easier. I can't tell her about this. I know what she'll say. It's not that deep. Just keep recording it for spam and don't answer any of them. I envy her for her drive. but I do worry that sometimes it narrows her view. The problem is that I'm deleting them. I've never answered a single one. I know better than to answer a clearly phishing job scam in my email. The problem is that I applied to one like a fucking idiot because I'm so fucking desperate. No one is hiring while CEOs and employers whine from their ivory towers that no one wants to work. I've tried to explain my frustrations online, but I'm often met with, well, do you have the skills? That could be an issue. You know, my job keeps hiring people with no skills for the role, and we're always perpetually looking. And forget talking to my boomer parents. Why can't you just call the hiring manager back? A firm handshake is all they need. Because the world changed. Because the world didn't. And that number in our bank account matters more than anything in this world. Because now AI can assign a number to you, and it can ensure that no one will ever take a glance at your resume, even if you would have fit perfectly for that role. I spent the afternoon trying and failing to clean my inbox. I'm sure I get new emails, but I can't tell. I'm so sick of looking at this. I don't want these anymore. I just wanted a legitimate job to put something in my bank account instead of out. They all have the same subject anyway. How could I even tell if it's anything new? Oh, I wish I never applied to this fuck-ass job. And then I get an email yet again. This time, either I must have clicked it or Gmail is part of their scheme. But this email is starred, so I see it standing out among all the new emails. I move my cursor to remove the star, but somehow it opened, and this is what the new email said. Dear LP, I hope you are having a productive day. Hope all is well. I came across your resume and was impressed by your background. I would like to invite you to our female empowerment program to train for the female officer administrator position. This webinar will provide you with information regarding a career opportunity with the company. If you are unable to attend the live webinar, you may still register, and a recording will be emailed to you later that day. Please click the following link to register. If you're unable to click the link, please copy and paste it into your browser. Hope to see you at the event. We will have a book of your choosing waiting for you. Kind regards, MJ Baking Owl. I stared at the web link, and there was a whole moment, where I hovered my cursor over it. I don't even know what came over me. By that point, I was in tears with frustration of everything. Thank God my roommate was out. I'm already so embarrassed having to depend on her for this long. However, I suddenly heard a neighbor dog's barking and realized what I'm about to do. I didn't do it and moved the cursor away. I ended up crying when I took a shower a little later into the evening. My roommate still wasn't home, so I had to fend for myself for the time being. While I'm not much of a cook at all, I could do some meals. I ended up making too much spaghetti, and I cried again when I realized this. Now they're a little salty, but at least my roommate always has food. It's comforting at least, and this time I just watched some YouTube videos on some book reviews I wanted to catch up on. It calmed me down, and for a moment I felt like I was a teenager again. Instead of crying over some high school drama, though, I know this is bigger than myself. I think about my situation a little more. There's not a lot I could do. Searching for jobs every day was something I told myself I was committed to. However, because of that, I've left my hobbies on the wayside. Some online friends tried to get me to join a horror book club, but instead I decided to look for jobs instead. Others even gifted me some games over Steam, which I still don't know how to take it. To show my appreciation for that, though, I at least play them for a little bit. I do have some anime I wanted to watch, but every time I look at those DVDs or even videos online, I feel like I don't deserve it. I barely deserve these gifts. I absolutely fucking hate looking at my library because I can feel the weight of them staring at me, begging me to read them and to enjoy their words. But I don't deserve it. I don't have a job. The only thing I've written and finished is this Reddit post about a phishing scheme that I must have set off. When I finish my dinner, I put away my leftovers and wash the dishes, including what's in the sink already. I drag myself back upstairs to my PC. I wake it up, and sure enough, I have another new email starred by Gmail. It was then I realized that it wasn't me who did it earlier. It has to be Google. Or something. Maybe Google isn't good enough anymore with all its AI crap that things like this slip. From the beginning, I made it a point to note not the amount of emails I received. It's just a number. It's an irrelevant number, just like that number in my bank account until I can make it grow. Plus, it doesn't matter anyway. That number did suddenly stop as I did the process of clicking it open and reading it. Hi. Thank you for taking the time for the position with our company. After careful consideration, we decided to move forward with another candidate. We wish you the best in your job search and future endeavors. The moment I read this clearly AI-created email, the email suddenly stopped. When I clicked out of the message, though, suddenly it's all gone. Everything. I checked my spam folder, and it was just as empty as I had originally thought. I still don't know what happened or even why. It was like they simply decided that enough was enough. Even though I felt like shit, I had the wherewithal to copy and paste it onto a Google Doc, just to remind myself it happened, that it was real. And if it ever happens again, I'll have evidence. I hope if those interviews don't work out, there's at least some seasonal retail with fall coming. But now I hear my phone's text tone. It might be my roommate. She might have gone shopping and needed some help. The end. Okay, cool. Let's see. I'm gonna look up and see which one's like controversial. Like, I don't think there are any that are, but just in case.